Too often Americans exhibit an unfortunate xenophobic streak, afraid of immigrants and strangers and other people who don't conform to whatever view that certain groups of people have. They try and make a big campaign issue about illegal immigration, as though somehow that's a threat to our nation. Well, the only threat to our nation is the unfortunate trend of ignoring freedom. In terms of any legal issues, the United States Constitution only has two sections dealing with migration issues. One says that Congress has the power to establish rules for naturalization of anyone who comes to this country. The other one deals with importing or migrating certain people after 1808. And this, of course, refers to slaves, even though the people who wrote the Constitution didn't want to use that term. So in other words, all this brouhaha about whether we should admit people into this country, how many, what are the rules, etc., are unconstitutional. Congress has no right to deal with any of these issues. Beyond that, at a more fundamental level, people have a right to freedom of association. You can associate with anyone you want to for any peaceful purpose. And also, we have freedom of contract, I should say. We have the right to freedom of contract, even though it's obviously unappreciated and unobserved by most people in this country. If you want to hire somebody to work for you at lower wages than another group of people, that's your right. You have a right to associate with anyone, to invite them into your home. If people who are so worried about welfare and things, well, just establish a rule or law that immigrants can't receive any welfare. Welfare is immoral and unconstitutional anyway. That is, welfare provided by taxation. If people would just simply appreciate freedom, and fundamental freedoms at that, they would understand that they're making mountains out of molehills. All this stuff about statistics in terms of how many people do this or that or whatever are irrelevant. Talking about obeying the rule of law, if they're really concerned about obeying the rule of law, then they should obey the Constitution, the supreme law in this country, and get off their high horses and quit criticizing anybody who comes into this country for peaceful purposes. But don't get me started.